Hello and welcome to my book review for children. These are the books that I read for my 2-year-old, the best books that I could find out of hundreds and hundreds of books I borrow at the library. So I'm doing this because I want parents out there to have access to the very best books. There's a lot of fillers out there. I don't want to be mean because I know like people work hard on their books, but these are the books that are like really good if you care about things like imagination, taking kids to another world, interesting storylines, things like that are really important for me. So, and by the way, one tip that I have, like when you're borrowing these books at the library, I always filter them out for books that are published since 2018. So this is my favorite book so far that I found at the library. It's called Another by Christian Robinson. He's my age. I read in the bio here. And what I like about this book is that it like takes you, it has no writing in it actually, and it takes you to like another world. Like a portal opens up in this girl's room, and you can, like if you're into like those theories about, you know, different dimensions, the places where like different rules of gravity happen, or I don't know what, but like, you know, just this girl has a portal of some sort opening up, and she goes in with her cat, and you know, you can see here like upside down becomes right side up, or I don't know what, like, you know. There's this one picture that I like, you know, let's see here. Oh yeah, like, you know, there's the stairs, they're going sideways, upside down, or I don't know what, but that's like really cool to describe to my son, and he really likes this book, and I like that it opens him up to like, you know, other concepts of what other places out there beyond the universe can be. And my other favorite book is called The Lost Book by Margarita Surnaite. I hope I pronounced that correctly. But what I like about this book is that it's really funny, because like this is why I like getting books that are recently published, because it talks about the problems of our time. Like there's like a bunny character, and he enters into the world, like our world you could say, and nobody seems to care because everyone's on their phone. Wherever he goes, nobody cares because everyone is on their phone, and he's just trying to find someone who has lost their yellow book, and a little girl finds him, and it's just a really interesting story. It's really cute, and I really like books. Again, this has like a magic tunnel where the bunny uses to enter into the our world, you could say, and my son really likes this book, and I really like the illustrations. And this book, it's called Let's Have a Dog Party by Mikela Prevost. And what I like about this book is that, you know, these days the trend is in parenting is talking about teaching empathy to your children. And this book talks about, gives a point of view from the dog's point of view. And so like this dog, he just wants to relax, and, you know, but it's his birthday, and that's not what he really wants. And you can see like with the animation, like you can tell like the dog is kind of like startled. So yeah, my son also likes this book too, so I read this to him over and over again. And my other favorite book that I've got from the library recently is a book called The Girl and the Dinosaur. And this is just basically about a book where I like the illustration, like anything that's about like, you know, fantasy, and to me is really good. Like, and it's basically about a dinosaur that comes to life. This girl finds the bones of the dinosaur, he comes to life, and I don't know, they go into some sort of magical world. And the book has like rhyming in it, which is also really good for children apparently, so this is good. And I'm doing this review to like, you know, give a platform to like writers you might not know about, because like in the library it's really overwhelming. But I still want to talk about this book that actually Jimmy Fallon wrote. I'm usually like hesitant about borrowing books that like celebrities write, because, you know, it's just because they're of their celebrity status that they have the ability to publish their books. But I like this book because my son likes this book. He keeps on giving me this book to read. It seems like he memorizes the lines of the book, and he finds it so funny. And I can't oh yeah, by the way, the book is called Everything is Mama by Jimmy Fallon, by the way. Okay, so what I find funny about this book is that, you know, Jimmy Fallon, he's like a really funny person, but he's able to tap into what children, like as young as 2 years old, can find funny. Like, that's really interesting to me. So, I think he even does illustration for his other books too, but I haven't read them yet. But this book isn't even that complicated. It's just, you know, I don't know, my son just finds it really funny. It's like, I think it's like appropriate for newborns even. It's just like, you know, not many words in each page. It's just like pictures mainly. But my son finds this book hilarious. Or maybe it's the way I read it, I don't know. So those are the books that I borrowed at the library. And now I'm going to talk about books that I own that you might not find at the library, but you might. So let's do that. Okay, so this book you might not find at the library because, you know, it's easy to rip out the pages and it's kind of indie. Like, I found this at like an indie shop in Montreal, indie bookstore. It's called About Shapes. And if you're like into teaching children about, and it's by a guy named Jérémie Fischer. So if you're into teaching children about, like, you know, colors and shapes, like, you know, you say, like, what do you see? Like, and you turn the page, this plastic page with some color on it, and then you turn it and it appears to be a giraffe, like, etc., etc. So, like, you know, and then everything comes together at the end. So my son really likes this book. And let's see, another book that my son really likes. I found like a few books by Japanese writers. They are really good. He really likes this book. For example, it's by Yusuke Yonezu, who is smiling. And I don't know, it's just another way of, they just have a different type of creativity, like this Japanese culture, like very simple. Like, I read to him this book when he was like a newborn, A Monkey Smiling. Just, you know, you see different shapes, and my son really likes these books. Let's see, I got all sorts of books from these writers. Really recommend What Do You Wear is really good, by Tarō Gomi. Tarō Gomi is a really good writer. Anything by Tarō Gomi is really good. Mommy, Mommy, Little Truck. We got the whole thing. Little Plane, Little Boat, My Friends. My son memorized this book especially. Spring is Here, he memorized this one too. Like, when I say memorize, like, he'll recite the lines randomly, and whenever like I'm at a page, like, he'll know what the next page says, and I don't even remember. We love each other. I like these die cuts. Shows shapes. Seek and Count, fun way to learn about numbers. Oh, and this book is also good for, this is also by Tarō Gomi. This is by Yusuke Yonezu. But this one by Tarō Gomi, if you want to teach kids about like the concept of numbers, like, this one isn't about counting. It just talks about, like, you know, what situations in life you see numbers, like clocks, calendars, scales. Well, this is obviously like a book written a long time ago. It talks about like changing the TV channel with the buttons on the TV. I don't know if you remember seeing those, but, you know, I still read it to him. Like, numbers at the store, you know, like, it's good for my son to, or for kids, I guess, to know about, like, that numbers are not just for counting, like, as a game. Like, you actually use numbers everywhere in life. So this book talks about that. I like that. And another book that I like, you know, that my son likes especially is this one, Feelings. This is good for like the younger kids. and it's written by Vicky Scott. So like I said, like the whole thing with teaching empathy is really important in today's parenting. So you know, teaching kids like seeing emotions, like like having a label for emotions. So hungry, scared, etc. Like they have pictures for that. And another set of books that I like from this writer, her name is Emily Winfield Martin, and she has really good illustrations. Like she's just so creative. Emily Winfield Martin, and she has these books called like Daydreamers, Dream Animals. Like her illustrations are so good. Like she even sells just like the drawings of her of the pages as like just pictures you could put up on the wall, which I have purchased as well. So you know, like pictures like this, you know, can't go wrong. So she has all sorts of books like Little Family's Big Day. Like these are books you could find at the library, I think. That's really good. And what other books I like? I like Oh, my son likes anthology books. Like we got this one at a used bookstore, so we try to save money, believe it or not, on books. But like we found this one at a used bookstore, and my son loves the anthologies. Like this has Mouse Cookies and More by Laura Numeroff, and it has basically like a lot of those stories that like is now a cartoon. And so my son loves this story. He used to ask me to read this to him every day. And Dr. Seuss are those classics, but I'm trying to like tell you about the books that you know, you might that don't get enough publicity. What else? This company, Chronicle Books, that tend to publish really good books. This one is called Peekahoo by Laden. My son really likes this. Just like die cut. It's rhyming. Like this is also good. And let's see what else is good. Like this same company like publishes this books, like if you want like, you know, something that like your kids can touch, like this tells you about the colors. This is by Xavier Deneux. It's called Colors, so very vivid. My son knows all his colors, and he's like at less than 2 years old, so he knew them. Numbers is also really good, by the same writer, Xavier Deneux. So you know what 1 is, like you're counting. 2, you know, you're not just memorizing numbers, you're like knowing the concept. So, and my son also memorized these pages, so that's good. And what else? Yeah, so these, this book is in French, but I don't know if you can find a book like that does this. I have to find it, but La nature du plus près au plus loin. But what the concept of this book is, it's by René Medley, and the concept of this book is it zooms in and zooms out, like so kids understand perspective. So like in the beginning of the book, you see like a close-up of a cherry. It zooms out. Then you go all the way to the sky, and you see like a perspective of and then it zooms back into another place, and then like I'm just showing you like, you know, in general, but like it has like all the pictures here. So this is really good. I think my son really liked looking at these pictures here. So I also have a whole section of books in French, but I'm not getting into them. But I talked about this because it's really cool, and I think they have this in English version. And, oh, my son really loves this book he ripped up. You will not find this at the library because it's easy to rip up. It's called The Ultimate Book of Cities, and it's by Anne-Sophie Baumann. It's originally written in French, but this is the English version. And, you know, like, well, this is all ripped up by my son. Like, believe me, I tried to prevent this from happening, but he could get... my recommendation is to, like, hide these kinds of books and only get them out when you're ready to read them. So this tells you about, like, different scenes in the city. Like, this is, like, traffic. You see bikes, you see subways, helicopters, etc. Then you see office buildings in downtown. There's the underground utilities, parks. I don't know why, but my son really loved this page. He's like, he just always wanted to go to this page. And in this park, you see, like, I don't know, community gardens, lakes, shopping stores, emergency services, just general buildings. Unfortunately, he ripped a lot of it, but this is a really good book. And we also, from the same writer, got this book, The Ultimate Book of Planet Earth, and we hide it from him. It tells you, like, about things like what's in the earth, like the core, you know, how our earth looked like 250 million years ago, volcanoes, things like this, you know. So, you know, there's a lot of really interesting books out there. These are the ones that I can recall that are, like, really good. If you have any recommendations, I mean, books that, like, teach you things, help you with your imagination, take you to another world, books with tunnels, books with just fantasy, books that that really go with childhood, the joy of childhood. So that's all I have to say about that. I'm going to write a full list of all the books that I talked about today, and maybe I'll do another video in the future about more books that I find at the library, because like I said, I just keep on borrowing, like, tons and tons of books. And I live in a small city, by the way. Like, it's kind of, like, limited. Like, it's not like a big city where, like, they would have more options. But I'm surprised that they even have all these options. So, and also, like, if I come across, like, some interesting books, like, I think you can always ask the library, request them to buy those books, you know. So, yeah, that's all I have to say about the best books of today for children as old as 8, young as 0.